What's up, everybody? A few days ago, I did a video, 7 signs that this man might be right for you. So now let's do 7 signs that this woman might be right for you. See, the problem with society and culture sexualizing everything when it comes to a woman is that it clouds the judgment of a man. It has him so focused on everything that she could do for his body versus everything she does for his soul. And so by default, many men have a misconstrued definition of beauty. Because if your definition of beauty is anything you could buy, apply, or a bodily asset, your definition of what true beauty is only skin deep. So 7 signs that this might be a woman for you. Number 1, she activates your king. Every man has a fool on the inside of him and has a king on the inside of him. And she knows how to speak to your king. Right now, there has been a re-release of the movie Lion King. Simba was singing this song in the beginning of the movie, "Oh, how I can't wait to be king." But the problem is, when it came time for him to be king, he didn't have the character of a king. Why? Because of who he befriended. He befriended a meerkat and a warthog that goes by the name of Timon and Pumbaa. When Timon first saw Simba, he was terrified because he recognized that this was a lion. But then he was like, maybe if he doesn't know who he is, we can make him our friend, because some people like to bound you better. And then since Simba really didn't know who he was, they reduced him down to eat on their level. So this is a lion who's supposed to eat meerkats and warthogs, but he ends up eating bugs and maggots, talking about Hakuna Matata. His friends reduced his diet. That's a word by itself. But this is what I want you to focus on. When Nyla came along, she was trying to eat Pumbaa. Pumbaa looked like some fresh bacon. And then Nyla and Simba get into this fight, and she's like, "Man, where have you been? Ever since you've been out of position, our homes have suffered. Ever since you have been out of position, the schools are suffering. Ever since you've been out of position, the nation is suffering." She challenged the king in him, and she was like, "You need to go and fight. You need to remember who you are, because sometimes it takes for a queen to remind you that you're a king." And one sign that this might be a woman for you, she activates your king. Number 2, she suits you. The Bible lets us know that God created for Adam a suitable helper. And so I like to break this down. You need a woman in your life who is a Lord suit. This is a woman where God was thinking about you when he made her. She suits you. It's not just about compatibility, it's about suitability. Is she a Lord suit or a lawsuit? When she's a Lord suit, she helps you advance the kingdom. When she's a lawsuit, she'll probably make you catch a case of a bad headache, a case of stress, a case of anxiety. You don't want a woman in your life who makes you catch a case. You want a woman who helps you catch favor. He who finds a wife obtaineth favor from the Lord. And due to her presence, you have now got favor. She suits you. She's not a nightgown type woman. A woman who's a nightgown, she can't do nothing for you outside of the bed. I'm talking about a woman who suits your calling, a woman who suits your passion, a woman who suits your assignment. This woman suits you. Number 3, she knows the language. She just knows how to talk to you. There's a certain way that you could talk to a man to get him to move. Her speech makes you become motion activated. She just speaks to some things on the inside of you. She knows when to speak. She knows when not to speak. She knows when you need to be challenged. She knows when you need to be comforted. She knows when she's pushing it too much, and she knows when she needs to push you more. This woman just knows the language. She knows how to talk to you, because every woman doesn't know how to talk to a man. And I know every man doesn't always know how to talk to a woman, but we already did that. This is 7 signs on how you could identify that this woman might be right for you. And a huge sign is she knows how to talk to you. Number 4, she respects you. God knows how he wired men. God knows, okay, if this man is respected, he will feel loved. You may feel loved off him providing security, him listening to you, him providing for you, him being there, him being compassionate, tender, the provider. That may be how you feel loved, but for him, man, his love language is respect. That's not weakness. That's just his love language. And then there are those who will say things like, "Oh, well, you got to get respect to get it." First of all, you've disrespected yourself if you're in a relational context with the individual that you can't respect. So miss me with that. And when you really get mature, this isn't for the immature, but when you really get mature, it's more about respecting the position than it is the person. There's certain things that I won't say to my wife because I respect her position. Now, her person, she may be having a bad day. She may be having a mood right now. But since I respect her position, I'm never gonna allow my mouth to attack her person because I respect the position. So here's a little sidebar for ladies. If the text says, husbands love your wives, wives respect your husbands. I think instead of you just saying, girl, I love him, I think you should look and see what can you respect about him. Because if you can't respect him, by default, this means you can't give him the love that he needs so that he can feel loved. And truth be told, you're actually disrespecting yourself if you're with a man that you can't respect. Number 5, she complements the vision. As a man, you are the leader, which means you must have a vision. It's going to be hard for a woman to follow a man who's not going anywhere, because if you don't know where you're going, you won't know who to take with you. You must have vision, because vision helps you to identify what to pursue. It will help you discern the woman you leave alone versus the woman that you want to give your last name to. I have to have a vision. If I have a vision that I'm going hiking and there's a room filled with 5 women, I'm not gonna pick the woman who looks like she's going to the beach. I'm not gonna pick the woman who looks like she's going shopping. I'm gonna pick the woman who looks like she's ready to go hiking too. Because based on how she's carrying herself, it complements the vision you have. You have to remember, you're the leader. Say leader real slow. Leader. Leader. It almost sounds like you're saying lead her. But how can you lead her if you don't have no place to lead her? I gotta know where I'm going. And when you know where you're going, it'll help you identify who to pick. And when she compliments where you're going, this might be a sign that this is the woman for you. Because there's nothing more deleterious for a man than for a woman to look delicious, but she's actually a demolition. She'll destroy everything that you're trying to do. Number 6, she's washable. This is so powerful. The text says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church, and he gave himself up for her, presenting to himself a church without spot, blemish, or wrinkle. And I think that you have to identify that she probably has some spots, and she probably has some blemishes, and she has some wrinkles. You don't complain about what you're assigned to heal. It's your job to heal her in such a way that she forgot that her heart was ever broken. But here's the thing, if she won't show you her spots, if she won't give you her wrinkles, if she won't be vulnerable for you, you can't really wash her like you're supposed to. You can't wash her with the water of the word if she doesn't even show you the areas that need to be washed. So I need a woman who's honest and transparent enough to say, hey, that hurt me. That divorce affected me. What my father did broke me. What that man did when I was 6 years old down in the basement, that affected me. Because you as a man have to wash that. So here's a twofold question for men. You have to ask yourself, do I have washing capacity? And for ladies, you have to ask yourself, am I washable? Am I willing to reveal my spot, blemishes, and wrinkles? And the man, am I man enough? Am I kingdom enough to iron out those wrinkles and wash those spots? And a woman who will let you help her evolve might be a sign that this is a woman for you. Number 7 is so huge for men. And ladies may not like this one, but she must fight for self-government. No man likes a out of control, overthinking, super sensitive, taking everything out of context, emotional roller coaster type woman. I'm not saying that she has to be perfect. I do believe that men help stabilize. So if she does struggle with overthinking, if she does struggle with her emotions getting the best of her, due to his presence, he helps her heal. He helps her experience self-mastery, because feelings are wonderful servants, but they're terrible masters. And a woman who's fighting for self-control, a woman who's fighting to know when to speak, a woman who's fighting not to clap back, she may not have it all the time. We're not asking for her to be perfect, but she's trying. She's attempting to get control of her emotions. She may still get emotional sometimes, and that's okay. You might get emotional too, but to the best of her capability, she is bringing her emotions under self-government. She doesn't have the attitude, this is the way I am, and a man gonna have to have some type of favor to deal with me. He gonna have to have some type of grace. If you can't deal with you, why would he want to deal with you? To the best of her capability, she recognizes, I'm supposed to be master over myself and master of my emotions, and I'm not always gonna unleash my emotionalism on you. No, I'm gonna recognize that I have to get control of me, just like how he has to stay in control of himself. It's Redefine TV, where we're redefining relationships righteously.